So, you're a fat gamer and you don't want to be that anymore. Well, here's a guide on how to fix it and what I did. I want to preface this video by saying I have nothing to sell you. There is no program, there is no upsell. This is my personal experience and what I did. Many of the long-term viewers of this channel will know that I used to look dramatically different. I used to be quite the fat butter golem greaseball. Wasn't a good look. And I decided one day to change that. So in this video, I'm going to cover at a very basic level what I did. I'm not going to go into the weeds and get into the details, but I'm going to tell you the things you should prioritize if you want to do what I did. And these are the things I'm fairly confident in that if you do them, you will have success. Let's get started with number one, and that is diet. Diet is by far the most important thing, and let's get this out of the way right now. Weight loss is purely calories in versus calories out. It is an energy balance equation. Anyone telling you that it's not calories in, calories out is trying to sell you something or is coping. That's how it is. Your body does not defy the laws of physics. So, with that being said, what you need to do is calculate your BMR. Google search BMR calculator. Use a couple of them because some of them are calibrated differently, but punch your numbers into a couple BMR calculators and get a rough benchmark of what your caloric needs are in order to survive. And pick an activity level that is conservative to your lifestyle. You're going to want to underestimate it just so you lose weight, but most of you are going to find that if you eat anywhere near your conservative activity level BMR, weight is going to just fly off you because most of you are just blowing right past it. So that is the most important thing, is to eat around your BMR conservatively. Undercut that if you want to lose weight. Don't undercut it too much. You don't want to go too crazy with it. You want to be able to be adherent to a diet, but that is very important. I feel like there's almost a conspiracy in the diet weight loss industry to not tell people what BMR is, because once you have that piece of information, everything kind of makes sense. So after you get your BMR, the only other thing you really need to do is track your protein. Protein is the only macronutrient your body cannot synthesize. Your body can turn carbs into fat and can turn fats into carbs, but you cannot create protein like you can with fats and carbs. So you actually need to eat it. And while it is overkill, I personally do like the bro 1 gram per pound of lean body mass equation. Now, that's lean body mass. So many of the males watching this video will probably need to consume around 170 to 220 grams of protein. Excess protein is not necessarily bad. It's just additional calories that might slow your weight loss down. But that excess protein, again, not bad. All that will happen is it'll just get converted into carbs or fat, depending on what your body prefers at that time. But protein, honestly, if you're going to go overkill on a macronutrient, if you're going to get too much of something, getting too much protein is for the most part, not the worst, because it's a very satiating macronutrient. When you eat protein, it just fills you up. It satiates that hunger, and your body doesn't digest it nearly as efficiently as carbs or fat. So less of it is going to go towards your waistline. So protein, definitely make sure you're getting enough of that. The only two things you need to track are your protein and your calories. Tracking your carbs and fats is just not something you need to do unless you are a competitive athlete, because your body, for the most part, is going to do a pretty good job at making sure those two things are where they're at, and it's just not worth your mental energy. I can deadlift 545 pounds. I'm bigger, stronger, faster than 99.9% of the population. Never tracked carb or fat in my entire life, and it's because it's just not relevant. And that energy can be better spent towards eating foods that you can stay adherent to on your diet. If oatmeal is something that you can eat that satiates you, it doesn't matter if you eat that instead of fats. You're getting really into the weeds with tracking carbs and fats. It's just not something you need to worry about. The next thing we need to address is if you have a problem with food or not. I will admit to you right now that I do have a problem with food. Overeating is one of my vices. I don't have any psychological issues. I don't eat because I'm sad. There is no underlying issue other than I just like to eat. It's just one of my vices. It still is, and it will always be something that I have to mitigate and limit my exposure to. If you are in this camp, you need to start thinking about food in this way as something you need to, potentially limit your exposure to. So some of you are fortunate in that you're like 15 pounds overweight and you gained a pound a year for 15 years. And here you are now, a little overweight. But if you're like me and you were 330 pounds in your early 20s, clearly there's a problem and you need to address this problem. So you need to come up with strategies in order to do this. And one of the things that I think is really toxic for people losing weight is the whole everything in moderation bullshit. That is a bullshit, non-viable strategy if you have a problem with food like I do. I cannot eat one slice of pizza and be satisfied. Keep it away from me. I don't want any of it. I don't want to fucking see it or look at it or be around it because I know that I got to eat as much as I want or it's just going to be torture. That's like telling an alcoholic, why don't you just drink just have like one or two, man? Like, why you got to go crazy? It's just not it's just not a viable strategy if you are in the camp that I am in. So what this means is for somebody like myself, I do not eat a little bit of ice cream every night. I do not do that. So what I do is I eat staple foods. I have a big list of stuff that I eat regularly, and I know roughly what it is calorically, protein-wise, and I stick to that list. I'll spice it up. Chicken, for example, I eat chicken a lot, but I have like a million different ways I prepare it and spice it up and whatnot, change it up, but it's, for the most part, macronutrient-wise, the same thing. Oatmeal, I know what that is. Broccoli, I know what that is. I have all of these things. Now, you don't necessarily need to eat bro foods to be eating staple foods. Some people like protein pancakes, whatever it may be. You need to create a list of foods that you like that you can stay adherent to on your diet and stick to those foods as much as possible if you are in the camp I am in. Does this mean that I never eat pizza and ice cream and binge out on all the foods I love? No. In fact, I do that frequently, but I try and limit my exposure to it. I try to have more good days than bad. And the way I personally do it is that when I'm alone by myself and there's no, I'm not doing anything social with friends or anything like that, I am a samurai. I stick to the food list. I am on point, on plan, 100%. But when I'm out with my friends or with my family or whatever, I'm off the reservation. I eat as much as I want, whatever I want, and I just try and have more good days than bad. Now, you may alter your strategy some, but that is the way that I personally do it. And the thing of it is that if you're having more good days than bad, just that general mindset, you're going to have success. Now, some of you may be asking, what about the holidays where it's just nonstop eating from Thanksgiving all the way up until New Year's? And my answer to you is, I just gain weight. I just get fatter during that period of the year. And that's just what it is. I'm not going to live my life differently or not indulge in the things I like with my friends and family, but I just put on a little bit of body fat. But if you're strength training, which we'll get into in a minute, you will find that a lot of the times you're not necessarily regressing. Sure, you may get a little fluffier, but your lifts go up and you aren't necessarily regressing. And even if you do just put on some extra body fat, it doesn't matter because there's no destination. There is no point where you hit a certain weight and you just go, job's done, and you're just done and you don't have to do it anymore. No, this is something you're doing for life. So does it really matter if you put on a little bit of weight during the holidays and then it falls right off after the holidays? No, it doesn't. So having a setback doesn't matter because you're in it for life anyway. Next up, we have lifting and general exercise. I don't care if you are a 22-year-old man or a 90-year-old woman. You need to be going to the gym and focusing on getting stronger. Strength is the goal. You need to be training like you are trying to be an NFL player. Whether you are a 90-year-old woman or a 22-year-old man, you need to be going into the gym and trying to push more weight. If you can't push more weight, do more reps. If you can't do more reps, do more sets. Everything needs to be focused around progressive overload and getting stronger, whether you're a 22-year-old man or a 90-year-old woman. This will get you the best results. These pump and fluff workouts, these body pump toning, whatever these gyms are selling is garbage. It's not measurable, objective progress. You need to focus on strength because it's objective. It's measurable. You can see it. It's something you can progressively overload and intelligently train for. Many of these pump workouts and whatever, you could eat, I could eat salty French fries and curl 5-pound dumbbells and make my arms burn and look amazing. But guess what? That's not what built my arms. How I got these big ass arms? Pull-ups, deadlifts, bench press, trying to do as much weight as possible, as many reps as possible, just trying to do more than I did the last time. That's how you do it. It's not, these random bullshit workouts. Now, some of you may be saying, I don't care about being strong. I just want to look good, or I just want to lose weight, or be toned, or whatever. And that is a flawed method of thinking, because if you get strong, you will look better, and the weight loss will be easier, and more importantly, it will stay off easier, which we'll get into in a second. But navigating the planet is just better when you're stronger. I don't know anyone that's gotten strong and been like, oh, I didn't like that. That sucked. And quite frankly, a lot of people watching right now are young men. It's very fun to be able to throw your girl around the bedroom. And every girl likes feeling dainty and small. It's just a thing. And by the way, ladies, the guys like it when you're strong too. When you're on top of your girl and she wraps her legs around you like Anderson Silva and you're not sure who's fucking who, that's awesome. They did a survey. They surveyed men all around the planet, and 100% of them liked that shit. So, ladies, you need to get strong too. And it turns out when you actually do it and do the work and get there, you'll like it. It's just better. Everything is better when you're stronger. So do it. The next reason why you should get strong is nutrient partitioning and metabolism. Now, naturally, as you're dieting, you're going to mess up on your diet some days, Thanksgiving, Christmas, social event, whatever. You're going to have days where you eat more than you should have, and a day that you normally would have put on body fat. But you'll find that when you start working out and you have one of those cheat days or whatever it is, you'll find that a lot of those excess calories will go towards building muscle or recovering from a workout. In fact, some of your most insane workouts are going to come from the next day after a really bad cheat day or a really bad whatever. Or in the case of me, the holiday season is where I make a lot of big gains. It's where, my deadlift goes up or my squat goes up much more than it would any other time of the year, because you're just getting more calories. And instead of all of those excess calories being used to just put on body fat, they're being used to actually progress your strength and put on some additional muscle. So that's huge. That is a huge benefit when you're losing weight. But more importantly, it's important for keeping the weight off. So we're going to use an extreme example here with competitive strongmen. Competitive strongmen have to eat 8,000 to 10,000 calories a day to just maintain their weight. So if you're able to get a fraction of that as a normal human, then it will become significantly easier for you to maintain and lose weight when you need to. For example, I'm 6'5" and can deadlift 545 pounds. I can lose 2 to 3 pounds a week at 3,000 calories. Now, some of you may be saying, holy shit, if I ate 3,000 calories, I'd gain weight. But it's because you're not as massive of a human as I am. If you build your body up to be strong and you have a bunch of musculature, it's just expensive calorically to maintain that, which is good in today's society. It's good to have a body that is calorically expensive to maintain because it gives you more flexibility. It means that, maybe that ice cream, maybe you can get away with it. That extra, that cheat day doesn't really hurt you because, again, it just takes more to maintain that body. And the last thing we're going to talk about is cardio and why most of you shouldn't be doing it. Quite frankly, cardio is largely a waste of time, and this is coming from somebody that does it. I enjoy a good game of full court basketball. I enjoy, a nice incline treadmill, just like everybody else. But if you are time limited or you, quite frankly, don't have the discipline to be in the gym enough to do a full strength training routine and to really get all you can out of lifting weights, you should not be doing cardio. It's not an efficient use of your time. If you can lift weights and you are recovered enough to lift weights, that is a far, far better play than getting on a treadmill and running or jogging or walking. You're much better off trying to get stronger and build muscle, even from a weight loss, calorie burning perspective. That time you spent getting stronger and building up back muscles or leg muscles or whatever is going to burn more calories long term than running on a treadmill. Because if you put that muscle on, that muscle is now going to be burning calories for you all the time while you sleep, whatever. The 500 calories you burn on the treadmill, once those 500 calories are burned, that's it. But that muscle you built, that's going to be working for you all the time. So unless you are really dedicated to the gym and you're really getting all you can out of your strength training, don't bother with cardio. Now, if you are knocking strength training out of the water and you want to do some cardio for your own fun or whatever, or just to do it, great. But most of you probably are not going to be in the gym enough to justify doing it. So I am not a huge pusher of cardio, and don't be doing so much cardio that it affects your weight training. Like, don't be running like 10 miles and then be like, not being able to do squats. That's not good. But, cardio, take it or leave it. That's the way I see it. Very overrated, though, in my opinion. And the last thing we're going to talk about is sleep. Now, this is a massive problem in the modern world. There are so many people that get horrific sleep, and this is going to be a disaster for the future because, quite frankly, it's a short-term loan. You may say, oh, I don't need much sleep. Oh, I never get sleep. I'm fine. Whatever. It doesn't bother me. I'm used to it. That's bullshit. It's a short-term loan. It will eventually catch up with you. You need to get more sleep than you probably are. Now, I get it. I have been somebody that has worked 65 hours a week, where it's like if I'm working 65 hours a week and I'm getting, 6 to 10 hours of sleep every night, all I do is work, eat, and sleep. Yeah, that's all you do. It sucks, but that's just what it is. And if you're not doing it, if you're not getting your sleep, I promise it will catch up to you. And if you're trying to, make progress and lose weight and get stronger, and you're not sleeping, it's just going to hamper your progress. And for those of you looking to lose weight, I mean, it sounds stupid, but if you're asleep more, it's just less time you can be eating. It's less time that you're hungry. So it's going to help you. It's just going to make your life better. So I get that sometimes it sucks, going to bed early because you're like, damn, I just got home from work and I'm going to bed already. Like, I get it, but it just is what it is. And if I could only choose two out of the three things to do, lifting, diet, and sleep, the thing I'd cut is the lifting. If you are eating right and sleeping right, you can have a pretty good physique still. And this, from personal experience, I was working 65 hours a week, and I just did not have time to go to the gym. I had one day off a week, and quite frankly, I was not going to go kill myself in the gym for the one day off I had every week. But what's funny is that I didn't waste away. I didn't go to the gym for nearly a year. And when I got back to the gym, I regressed a little bit, but then very quickly, right back where I was, because my sleep and my diet was still on point, and I didn't turn into a husk of a man after not stepping into the gym for a year, because those two more important things were still on point. And to wrap this video up, I want to talk about your overall mindset you should have going into this. And that is that fitness is a lifestyle. Now, I know that's very cringe because that's what you see all the Instagram thoughts say, but there is an element of truth to it. And what you need to get from that is that you shouldn't get upset about your setbacks and your failures. Let's say, for example, you gain weight during the holidays. Whatever. Does it affect the future? No, because you're going to have to start eating healthy again anyways. Let's say you're working a bunch and you're not in the gym as much as you'd like, and your deadlift regresses back to 405 from 500. Does it matter? No, because it doesn't affect the future. You're going to get back in the gym and do deadlifts again as soon as you get the time. You're in this for life. There is no off-ramp. There is no stopping. There is no time where you just clap your hands together and go, job's done. It just doesn't happen. So there's no point in getting upset about your setbacks, because it's a long road. It's a long, never-ending road. So you might as well just do what you can and get after it. And you're not always gonna be winning, but if you have more good days than bad, you'll probably like your results. I know I did. So hope this video was helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have a good one. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and join the Discord. It's free.